Hello everyone, this is Gary Marr. In this screen capture, I want to talk about another Python IDE called Visual Studio Code. This particular IDE was created by Microsoft and it's a descendant of its Visual Studio product line. So if any of you have experience with C#, C++, Visual Basic, etc., some of this IDE will look familiar. This is free from Microsoft. It was designed to be much like Sublime and Atom and some of the newer editors out there, where it's kind of like one size fits all. I can use this editor for both my Python and also my JavaScript class because it's got a programmability feature that lets people create what's called extensions to extend the IDE to whatever language they wish to develop in. I use this quite a bit with my JavaScript class because we're developing with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. With Python, it's less of a big deal because it also has extensive IntelliSense, which is a Microsoft trademark. But the IntelliSense for Python is not nearly as complicated as what I would need to see for like CSS or HTML. But just the same, it's an editor worth looking at because I think this has got a real future behind it, and you may use it for more than one language. So let me just give you a little bit of landmarks. You've got a ribbon on top, which I think is fairly straightforward. You've got a set of icons down the side. You don't have a ribbon icon, it's down the side. This is the File Explorer. There's a search capability. There's also a share capability or source control, but this is used primarily for Git servers. That would be GIT, something we don't cover in this class. There's some debug windows. We will look at the debugger. And there's also an extensions option. And this is where you start to see what some of the power is in terms of what people have added to make you more productive in your IDE. There's a whole list of different applications which you can install and use as part of Python development. I mean, numerous ones. Everything from, certain color combinations to, tidying up your code with formatting to code snippets. You can look through these. There's all kinds of good stuff here. It's gotten to the point now where in a lot of cases, these macros that are built in, you would simply, hold a couple keys down. It would build all of the structure for your program, and then you would have to fill in the details after that. And again, it's for multiple languages. So Python has a set of extensions, so does JavaScript. Now, as far as running and debugging code, if I go back to File Explorer, you can actually open code either by file or by folder. I have all of the sample programs that are in the textbook on Python. So for chapter 3, so miles per gallon is one that we've used a couple times in terms of examples and such. So I've loaded specifically chapter 3, but more specifically still the miles per gallon application. The code is up here. You can see it has syntax coloring. And you can change the colors. The colors are all customizable. I can go one screen, split screen. With the size of this display on the video capture, it doesn't make any sense to go with a split screen. You just wouldn't be able to see it. What I thought I would do first is simply run an application in Python. So what I'm going to do is right-click on this editor here. I'm going to say run Python file from the terminal. The terminal is this section, this block down below. And this is a complicated editor. I'm still learning it myself. So I'm still kind of hunting and pecking for things. It's got extensive help though. But terminal mode would be the equivalent of running this in console mode or from a command prompt. So it's waiting for miles driven. So I'm going to key in. Whoops. This is where you got to be careful. You see where my one went up in my editor window. I want it down here, 100. I want 10 gallons used, and I want each gallon to be $1. And then it completes the calculation, shows me the output based on what's in this program here, and then finally asks me if I want more entries. I say no, and the program's ended. So now, I'm not going to be able to show all this stuff because, again, I'm still working some of it, and these new extensions show up daily, it seems. What I did want to show you, though, is I'm going to insert a breakpoint here, and I'm going to run it with the debugger. All right, so I've inserted my breakpoint on line 12. Now the debugger code, I don't think, let's see, I'll make sure this is true. Yeah, there is no option for debugger over here in the right click, but there is an option up here under the debug menu option. So if I do start debugging, okay, what should hopefully happen here is I should see a debugger window over here which is going to show me my variables as locals and globals, etc. It's going to show me watch points and the call stack. Okay, now at this point, it stopped execution on this line. That's my yellow arrow, and it's also colored differently on the screen. So I need to step into this line. So I'm going to step into this line exactly like I did in PyScripter. When I step into the line, it means I've executed it. It's now down below here, waiting for my first piece of information, 100. Okay. Now I need to step into the next line. It's going to ask me for gallons used. Okay. And I should be able to start to see variables and such show up here. Let's go to the next slide first. Enter. Okay. On variables, let's see if I get on the list here. Oh, let's see. This is the part of me I guess I haven't got here yet. Oh, right there. I'm sorry. They're right there. Okay. Miles used, gallons used. All that stuff are local variables that have been created. Okay. I step into this line. It's going to ask me for the cost per gallon. If I put my 1 again, whoops, 1 again, and then enter, it's captured that. And then typically with all these debuggers, I can jump over functions. I can just start running the program to the end, or just run it from where I stopped in the breakpoint. And now it's asking if I want any more calculations made. I say no, just like I did last time, and I end the program. This is much more powerful than Thony. It is more contemporary than PyScripter. It does only run on the Microsoft environment that I'm aware of. But this is a big deal for Microsoft right now, and I think it's a big deal for programmers. If you go online and check out the website, you're going to find there's a whole bunch of languages they support with this particular tool. So I would encourage you to download it. It's free, and kick the tires and see what you think about it. Thank you.